Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be all about Ghost and more specifically how I was learning how to play her. So before we say anything else, there is a huge disclaimer on the video. I do realize I'm not the most skilled Ghost player and there are many others out there. I will be leaving a link in description for Pandam and Pete's channel and for Ankush's channel, because those guys are much more capable with Ghost and they have some really good Ghost footage on their channels. But anyways, as far as it goes for me learning how to play Ghost, my first stop was Act 5, Chapter 4, Quest 1, and more specifically the life transfer path, just because while I was being a complete novice to playing Ghost, this life transfer node gave me a lot of opportunities and chances to mess up and still heal my champion up and kind of carry on questing. And with that, I was able to kind of get deeper in the quest, carry on and test Ghost against several different opponents and several different nodes. So this was definitely my number one space where I came to practice. I redid this path a bunch of times on the course of several days, kind of just trying to learn the basics of Ghost, kind of how to phase, when to phase, how long is the phase timer and things like that. And yeah, the best bit is again that you are allowed to mess up in here and you're going to be able to heal back up and you're going to be able to carry on. And that's going to give you a chance to fight against multiple different opponents, and which I think is important, because one of the more trickier things about learning how to play Ghost is learning how to work with her phasing timer to know when you're going to have enough time to phase a hit or two or three, and what is going to be your timing when you interrupt opponents' attack combo with your own, how to phase special attacks, how to phase recall damage. All that is kind of like something that it's extremely difficult to explain and put on paper. It's a lot of what you need to go and kind of have a feel for the champion, and you will not be able to do it no matter how many videos you watch just by watching the videos in theory. Because Ghost, once you learn how to play her, she really isn't all that difficult. At least I think. Not that I'm really great at her, but I just find her fairly easy. Like, it doesn't require me too much focus to play her. But learning and getting those basics and getting that kind of timings in my muscles, in my fingers, took me quite a bit of while, probably more longer than it takes for a majority of other players, just because I was so used to playing different characters. I was so used to parrying when opponents dash back at me, so it felt weird to hit them to me, and all that seemed off, so I had to really fight against my muscle memory. But anyway, so when you got the basics down in here, then I moved up to Act 5, Chapter 4, Quest 5. That's the one with Mephisto as a boss. And I did that because number one, we have a nice Miles Morales fight to warm us up. So he's an invader. He is a place where we can come and practice our fighting style against the invaders, which is kind of like phase hits them once, phase hit them once, and then like get a special and hit them with a special. So that was the reason, and the second reason is because we can move straight up to immunity path, whereas Spider-Man and other stun-immune characters, that means we have a lot less room for error, and it kind of like makes us to be more disciplined and makes us properly like phase intercept them and work around Ghost abilities. We couldn't rely on parry if we messed up and things like that. So this is where I came with kind of like a small base set of skills. Once I had acquired it, this is where I kind of learned how to be more consistent with it. And a few things I kind of really want to mention with Ghost is that initially, while you're learning her, you're really going to be struggling to go against your muscle memory and the things you know, because it kind of feels like you're leaving yourself open to get hit, and that is going to take some getting used to. And second bit is that while you're playing Ghost against normal opponents, do not overestimate yourself and her. And that is one of the biggest mistakes I have seen people do, is they get greedy. They try to phase when the timer is about to run out. If you're not sure, like if you're getting confused, if you're not 100% sure that you're going to have enough time to be phasing opponents' hits, just throw that block down, just parry them. that's not a crime, despite what anybody else tells you. Ghost is still a champion. You can still use all the basic mechanics, basic parries, basic everything else. And do not get overconfident with Ghost. That is like the biggest thing I want everybody to take away from this video. If you get flustered, if AI is starting to behave differently, he doesn't want to throw that punch, just back out, parry, block, do something. Do not think maybe we make it kind of thing. If you're not 100% sure that the phasing timer will be long enough, don't risk it. It's not worth it. Kind of like back out, reassess the situation, and carry on after that. But yeah, as we can see here, we have like Thor Ragnarok, where we can play how to fight against him, because here we can't intercept in case things go wrong. And obviously he's immune, so we can't parry. And then we're going to fight Ultron. Ultron has some sort of a weight on him as well. Next fight is going to be Hyperion. So these are kind of increased difficulty fights with some really realistic nodes that you're going to find in majority of endgame content, like immunity is popular, power gain champs are popular, so on and so forth. So this is where you can kind of come and get comfortable with Ghost. So we can see AI here with Ultron. He didn't want to hit me. I needed to reassess what I'm gonna do and how am I gonna get back in the tempo of the fight. And these are all the things you really need to get comfortable with using Ghost. Now, again, a huge disclaimer, I'm not saying I'm really good at playing Ghost, I'm just saying what were the methods I was trying to learn, to teach myself how to play with her, because it really didn't come easy to me and it took me a while. But yeah, so once we have learned how to play Ghost against all these different Act 5 opponents, and you're going to notice I'm using a 4-star here just because we don't want to be killing them too fast. But yeah, once you have learned how to fight against all these Act 5 opponents, once you get like your phase timing right, once you kind of like know how long you can be phasing, how many hits you can be phasing, and all that, the thing with Ghost is all that is different for each and every single champion because their animations are different. So a lot of that is just going to come with experience and you actually playing Ghost, not watching some videos on YouTube, because a lot of Ghost kind of relies on the feel of the champion and the opponents and their animations. And yeah, so once we get that bit sorted, we're going to be moving on to our next piece of training, and it's going to be consistency. Right, and to kind of consistently learn how to phase the recoil with hood synergy, how to consistently learn how to phase special attacks, what we can and what we can't do. Obviously, we can revert to everybody's favorite punching bag, which is Realm of Legends Winter Soldier. So for the sake of speed, I'm using 5-star Ghost here, because this is how I often farm my potions, because Ghost is capable of getting him quickly really down. And then for the sake of kind of consistency and changing up opponents, what I was doing with Ghost is I was just doing my best to clear entire Realm of Legends, not just punching Winter Soldier. Normally, I came in here whenever I found few minutes in a day, and I did a fight or did 2 fights, and I was just moving through Realm of Legends. And initially, obviously, I wasn't able to clear it all without using potions, so I just backed out. And I was playing it time and time again till I was able to clear entire Realm of Legends consistently with Ghost without potions. And that was kind of my mark that I'm somewhat decent at using her more or less kind of reliably. I still know there are things, tips and tricks that I need to pick up with her, which I will eventually. But again, the biggest problem Ghost players often have is that Ghost is a glass champion and you really need to be not only good sometimes with her, you need to be good consistently with her, because Ghost is a glass cannon kind of champion. Once you mess up, it can go really badly really quickly. And especially her phasing mechanic often leaves you kind of exposed. And the main thing, and I cannot stress this enough, is not to get overconfident and make sure you get consistent with your phasing, with the things you're doing with Ghost. So once you do that, you can use her confidently in rest of the endgame content. And obviously, the more you play the character, the more used to you're going to be using her, and the better your results are going to be. And then once you think you have everything kind of like already sorted and everything done, just pop in with your Ghost in Labyrinth of Legends, just for the sake of it, kind of like a refresher, and try to get that Red Hulk or Star-Lord down, because those fights again are quite long. They really kind of test how well you can deal with AI when he sometimes doesn't throw the special in time, or sometimes he's not gonna attack you, or you're not gonna be able to rely on your parries here if something goes wrong, because you have limber and they're gonna expire and things like that, and they have that random away that can still catch you off guard, and it's still kind of a good way to make sure you are confident at using Ghost and you do not get flustered, and you kind of know when to back out, when to kind of like reset yourself and go back in with your phasing, because in Labyrinth there are always things that can go wrong and will go wrong, and it's always a good idea to kind of come in here and just make sure, kind of like, because after you have done Act 5 live transfer, which is completely from beginning, when you know nothing about her, when you have learned how to play her against immune opponents, against evaders and stuff like that, when you have spent some time farming potions in Realm of Legends, because let's face it, everybody can use potions, when you think you have gotten consistent in phasing the recall damage with Hood Synergy. And a quick tip on the recall damage phasing is the timing on that is later than you think. Once you throw your special, leave it for like nearly a second and only then phase, because if you try to phase early, she's just gonna stand still. So to phase the recall damage, you need to wait a bit before you dash back. But anyways, beside that, after everything that is done, just come in Labyrinth and just make sure you got everything kind of sorted under his belt. And lastly, yeah, take in Ghost and as many pieces of content as you possibly can. Do your uncollected with Ghost and go and practice. But that's gonna be me done for today's video. I'm gonna let this fight finish off in the background so you guys can see how we do. And hopefully can see you guys next time.